Hi everyone, how are you today? Welcome to another YouTube and Facebook live here on the Altenew and the YouTube channel. I hope you can all see me. I'm just going to check if I can see myself. That's always the first thing I do. Yay, I can see myself. So I hope you're all well today on this lovely Thursday, that you've had a nice week this week and that you're ready for a little bit of crafting inspiration. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of you to pop in. I'm going to pop on my chat. That way I can see you write in your little comments. Come in, pop in, say hello, and then I can show you the products I'll be using today. I'm going to be doing something really outside of my comfort zone and creating a more themed card. Hi, Naomi. Hi, Diane. How are you all today? So nice to see you here. And behind the lovely Altenew badge today is Angel, who's going to be helping me pop in all the... Oh, I've still got a stamp on here. To pop this on the stamp set. Oh, it's this one. There we go. So Angel's going to be helping me today, popping in all the links to the products I'm using, and she'll also be answering any of the questions that I might miss. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Cece. Hi, everyone. So nice to see you all again here on this platform. So just a quick little reminder, don't forget to share while this is live, and we will pick a lucky winner at the end of the live session for a gift certificate to the Altenew store. So there we go. Hi, Deborah. Oh, I know you must be happy. It's always a very special day when we get some happy mail from Altenew. Hello, Errol. Okay, so I'm going to switch my screens and walk you through the products I'm going to be using today. I hope I didn't forget anything. And we'll just see how this goes. So I've got two ideas in my head. I'm just hoping it all works out for the best, because you never know how these things turn out. So I'm going to switch my screen and pop down so you can see my work surface. Okay, let's just give this a little tweak. So I hope this is bright enough. I can always pop on another light over here. So I think this is going to work, or might just pop on the second one too. Got nice and bright. So I'm going to pop my stems from the plastic, that way we can see it. Thank you for sharing, Sue. Thank you for sharing, Joni. Okay, so I'll just pop this to one side. So my son just popped on just to tell me if the... there we go, just to check if the quality of the video is good, but I think it's good. So this is the stamp set we're going to be using. This is one of our newest stamp sets. And as you can see, there are no flowers on here. This isn't usually a stamp set I gravitate to, but because usually on the Facebook and YouTube lives, I like using products I would not necessarily use, I thought it'd be nice just to create two fun cards using this lovely stamp set. So this stamp set is called Seize the Day. As you can see here, we've got a little wordplay, a little pun at the top, and it comes with a whole variety of stamps. So you've got 4 seagulls, I think 2 seagulls, and then maybe pelicans. They can be whatever seabird they would need to be. Okay, and then we have got some clouds. We have got a lovely sailboat over here. This is going to be a base for the sea. Yes, Joni, you might have to buy this one. So we've got our lovely clouds, and then we've got this lovely kind of light tower on a rock formation, which is really pretty too. And then we've got some really lovely sentiments. The image right above the boat. Oh, so this is a little girl who's looking out, but her legs have been chopped off. So I think it's this one you're talking about, Sue. Okay, so you can see this is a hat, a hand holding a hat. We'll be using this one today. And then we've got her coat, which is like nonchalantly draped over her shoulders a little bit. You can see a little bit of a shoulder peeking there. And there we go. So for our sentiments, we've got like 3 larger ones with this a lovely scripted font, traveling, bon voyage, and seize the day. There we go. Now we've got a smaller one here, which says, 2 smaller ones, sorry. It leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. And life is not meant to be lived in one place. So there we go. Those are the sentiments. It comes with a coordinating die for the clouds. And then we've got this here, which is kind of, could be a cloud. It could also be kind of a rock formation. You could make it whatever you want it to be. And then we've got our lovely seagulls or pelicans. They do look more like pelicans to me anyway. Our lovely sailboat, which we can cut out. And these all fit perfectly in the mini blossom, which I'll also be using today. So that is the stamp and the die set I'm going to be using. And we're going to be creating 2 cards. So on one card, I will be using the sea, the clouds, and the little girl. Okay, or the woman. I don't know if it's a girl or a woman. A person with long hair. Could be whatever. And on the other one, I'll also be using the sea with the clouds, but also the sailboat. But I'll be using different techniques on both cards. There we go. You will also need your water garden set. So I tried to just stick to one set. We're going to try and just use this set to color in our images. And I've also picked out some colors, and I'm going to have to check on my phone which ones I picked out, because I think I kind of forgot. Silly me. Let me just go check. So I am going to be using the Northern Shore. I think this is the Northern Mini Cube. So Northern Shore is Polar Bear, Icy Water, Winter Lake, if I'm not mistaken. Then I'm going to be using the Golden Sunset. I don't remember which one the Golden Sunset is, because I've got 2. I've got 2 orange. Yeah, it's the Sunray, Chamomile, Snapdragon. There we go. I'm just pulling them out of their containers. There we go. And then I'll also be using Martian Terrain, which I think is really, really pretty. There we go. Pastel Sunrise, Canyon Clay, Burnt Red, and Mahogany Bark. So those are the ink colors I'll be using. Probably not all of them, but quite a few of them. I'm also going to pull out some of my blending tools. So I will need an orange. So I'm going to use the mini blenders. I need a red, but I don't really have a red. So I might just use this one. It's kind of a funny reddy purpley, but it will work. Hi, Teresa. And I will also need a blue. So I've got a blue one over there. So I think I've got that. So this is how I store my mini cubes. So they're all in this kind of tray. It's a wooden tray. So I still have a little bit of space to fill them up. There we go. Let's just put this to one side. So I've got all my colors there. I'm just going to pop them to one side and pop the inks on top. So we're going to need some cardstock, and we're going to start working on our sea and our sky. So for the first card, with the person looking into the distance, I wanted to create a kind of a sunset look. So, oops, let's just move these a bit. Oh, good for you, Susan. It's such fun when we know that crafty stuff is coming our way. So I'm going to start by creating my sea. Okay, so I'm going to use this stamp, but this is only going to give the kind of illusion of the wave. So what I want to do is add a base color to that, and we're going to do a little bit of blending. Hi, Brianna. So I'm going to just let you have a look here. So here you can see how that is used. So you could use it to make the waves and make them look like white, so you could like stamp that in white embossing and then color the rest in with a blending tool. But there are lots of different possibilities on using this stamp set. I've got an idea in my mind. I'm just going to see how that is going to work out. So first thing I need is I need a bit of scrap paper or scratch paper. So I'm just going to use this little piece. It's kind of something I stamped up on, but it didn't work out. So I can use this just to add like a border to something. I might just start off with that before adding my stamp. So let's just pop this to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card, which I've got here, and I'm just going to add a little bit of tape because I'm going to do a little bit of blending and I don't want it to move around. So I'm just going to do, don't move around. This, and then I'm going to take my scrap piece of paper and I'm going to see how I think I'm going to pop it round about there, and I can always repeat the stamp at the bottom if I need it, like that. So I'm just going to take this off a little bit, like so it doesn't move around too much. There we go. So try and get this kind of straight. So first of all, I'm going to use some of the blue ink, okay, like so. And I'm going to go and add some blue color around the sides. I'm going to try and stay away from the center because I want to add a kind of a sunset theme to that, where you get the reflection of the sunset. Yes, I will. Angel, who's behind the Altenew badge, will link all the inks. So I'm going to start with our first ink set here. We've got Polar Bear, Icy Water, Winter Lake, and Arctic Mountain. I won't use all of them. So this is the Northern Shore Mini Cubes ink. I think I'm going to start with the Icy Water, and I'll use Winter Lake to add my details later on. Hi, Xiomara. So Icy Water, and I'm going to use my little mini blending tool just to add color to my base. So I'm going to try and leave a little bit of like a section here at the bottom or at the top of my section here, so that I can add that kind of sunset look. So I'm just going to blend this color in. Oh, I might go with the darker shade afterwards. Let's just see how this goes. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to add some scrap paper underneath. That's going to, that way I can see a little bit, the difference a little bit better. Let's just pop a little bit of scrap paper below. There we go. So this is a very light color. I think I'm going to go in with my darker shade, and I'll use the Arctic Mountain later on. So you can use the mini cubes or the larger ones. I just got the mini cubes here. So this one's a bit darker. So let's just start blending that color in there. So you can see I'm adding the color to the page like that, to the cardstock. So I do want to kind of leave, I will go up a little bit to the top here, maybe a little bit more here, and then leave kind of section, a very loose section. It doesn't have to be very strict, so that you get this kind of idea of a reflection. So there we go. I'm just blending that color in. So if you want to darken that shade, you're just going to go blend in more of the color. And always remember, when you're blending in color, it's always a lighter version than the ink itself because you're blending. So if I put the color, you can see how dark that is if I just kind of directly put it on there. But you will never get this dark of a version just by blending. So there we go. Which means you can stamp over this with the same color. Okay, so we've got our color blended in there. I quite like the look of that. There we go. So now I'm going to go in and create my kind of sunset look. So I'm going to use some oranges for this, and then I'll add a little bit of red. So I don't have a red. I don't think I have. I don't have a red little mini blender, but I do have a pink. This one I used for pink and red. There we go. Thank you for sharing. So what I usually do is I just kind of wipe the rest of the color onto some scrap paper, and it usually comes off, and then I can go in with the next color. So I'm going to add a kind of variation of something orangey, and then add a little bit of red in there. So I think I'm going to use the Snapdragon. The marigold might be a little bit too dark. We can always go in with darker colors. So there we go. So I'm going to kind of just blend this color like so, ever so slightly in like this. And what's nice about this is because you were working with things like reflections and sunsets, the colors are never very, it's not like a unified color. I mean, there are differences, there are shades, and so you've got a lot more possibilities. So I'm going to go in with that darker shade just to make it a little bit more orangey, like that. And then I want to add just a tad, a little bit of red. So I'm going to go in with the burnt red here from our Martian, what's it called again? Martian terrain. I'm really bad with names. So this, yeah, that's such a pretty color. So let's just kind of want to add some depth to the color. Okay, so I've got that in there. So you can see we've got like a nice definition there. There you. What I would like to do now is I want to create kind of something very similar moving up. Okay. So I don't really need to mask this off anymore. I've got my line there, so I know that's going to be my horizon. There we go. And I just want to kind of recreate this kind of look. So once again, I'm going to go in with my marigold or Snapdragon. I started with Snapdragon, and kind of just like the sun were kind of setting in there. So let's go in with our marigold, and I'm just going to blend that color in like so. I'm not going to work my way all the way up. Okay. There we go. It's like it's on fire. Yes, I use these all the time because they're small and really easy. I think I've mixed the colors up. Let me just check. Yeah, that's Snapdragon. That's burnt red. Let's not do that. So, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that burnt red as well, like in the center there. So let's go like this. I might just go back in with a little bit of marigold. Just a little bit more of that red. Okay. Really kind of going to darken that center a little bit. Okay, that's good. I think that looks nice. And I might just blend that orange out a little bit to the top ever so slightly, because we still have to add our clouds afterwards. There we go. So we've got our kind of sunset scene going here. And I'm going to add my details. So this is where the stamping tool is going to come in really, really handy. So we're going to pop this down. And we're going to take our C seam. Where did I put my stamp set? Oh, it's here. It's hiding. There we go. Let's just move these all along. So I'm going to use the C, which has got this kind of horizontal line on there. And I'm going to place that really on my border over there. That's done. Oh, it's going to pop it up. It's a bit sticky. So because it's a bit sticky, I might just kind of go over it with my little prepping tool from Altenew. Yes, and I'm using the little Misty, which is perfect. So there we go. Should be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Winter Lake, and I'm going to try and add these details, but I have to be really careful because I don't want to add any blue onto that. If you can see, like so. You can see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a pencil, and I'm just going to, on my Misty tool, I'm just going to kind of draw on here on the grid, which is on the outside. This will just kind of show me approximately where that color is. And I can see kind of through that. If I pop something white underneath, I can see that line. There we go. So you know I can put blue over there, and then I'll add the other colors in there. There we go. So I'm going to just use my Winter Lake. I'm just going to kind of add that to that section. If it's not perfect, that's not an issue. It's just I don't want to get that blue into that lovely kind of sunset area. So I'm kind of just doing it like this. And then we can add some of that kind of a darker shade of red I might use, or maybe that darker orange, just to add that kind of detail. And I'm just going to maybe just pop a little bit over there. And I can just kind of do that like this. There we go. Okay, so you can see I've kind of added those details. Oh, Aram, coming from you, that's I don't know if I'm such a genius. So I have got a little bit of a smudge there, but that's okay. So I'm just going to wipe this clean. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same with the center, but I'm going to add some of that marigold. That's just going to be dark enough, but not too dark. I think the burnt red will be a little bit too dark. So I'm going to add marigold. But to do this, I think I'm going to use a bit of masking tape, because it's going to be a little bit more difficult to kind of mask off, like get in those areas. So I'm just going to mask that section off, which I can see through. I can see it through here like that. So I can see my lines there. You will have to pop something white underneath just to see where you penciled on it. And then once you're finished, you can just wipe that clean. It cleans off really easy. So I've got that masked off, and now I can add my marigold color. There we go. So I'll just pop this on top like so. Okay. And I'm going to peel off. Don't forget to peel off your masking tape, because otherwise it won't look nice. Like so. And then I can just kind of stamp this over there. And so that way you've got like the blue and the orange, and it all blends in together nicely. Now, as you can see, our stamp isn't large enough, so we're going to have to do a little bit more of blue stamping on the sides and a little bit more of blue stamping on the bottom. That's very, very easy to do. Just going to make sure we give this a nice clean. So I think I'm going to have to turn this around a bit so I can work with it a little easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of turn it upside down, like so. Okay, I'm going to have to work like this. It's going to be a lot easier. Let's do it like this. Okay, I think I'll do this. I'll kind of do it mitchy-matchy like that. Okay. So I'm going to continue that line, just that little bit of a line with the orange, with the snapdragon. So let me just get that on there already. That's done then. Okay. And now I can add my blue. So I'm going to go in with the winter lake. So I'm just going to add that blue over here. I just need a little tiny bit on the side. Just kind of to add a little bit more of that color. There we go. And I'm going to do the same for the bottom section. But this time, I'm just going to turn the stamp over like so. There we go. Because I do need a bit more blue there at the bottom. Otherwise, it would look a bit funny. There we go. So let's go in with our blue. Where did I put it? It's over here. So we just need this bottom part. There we go. So with these kind of stamps, repetition is the way to go. And once again, I just need a little bit more on that side. Just move this stamp a little bit more over. Come on. Will this fit in there? There we go. That should be just right. And these are waves. So, I mean, there's no wrong or right with waves. They have a life of their own. So once again, I just need a teeny tiny bit there. There we go. So that's our water done. I think that's the most complex thing we've had to do today. There we go. Water done. I hope I'll have enough time to make both cards. So let's go on to our clouds. It is quite a complex card. I was thinking this is going to be easy, but no, there are different steps we have to do. So for our clouds, we're going to do two things. So first of all, we need to create a stencil because we don't have a stencil for this stamp set. Okay. So I'm going to add my little clouds on here. So I'm going to stamp them on there. Let's just kind of stick this down again. I really like this one. So I'm going to pop my cloud over here. And I think I need another one over here, like so. Yeah, those, they look nice like that. Okay. So I'm going to just stamp these with an acrylic block. It's going to be the easiest. And I think I'm going to go in with Arctic Mountain. So that's the darkest shade. I'm not going to use any black on this. So that's the first one. You're going to see we're going to add some detail to that, because just like that, it's not enough. So let's stamp our second one. Okay. So I don't know if you look at sunsets, sometimes the clouds, they really take up those colors. So I do want to intensify those colors here on the clouds. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coordinating die and I'm going to cut out the dies that come for the clouds, which you can see here. So you can use a piece of scrap paper for this. So I'm just going to kind of pull this one out and then this one. So I've got a little bit of paper. It's not like, it's a bit thicker than printing paper, but thinner than just usual cardstock. And I'm just going to cut this down to approximately like, I think 3 inches. What would fit in the mini blossom. There we go. And I'm going to tape these down like so. I'm just going to run them through the mini blossom. There we go. Oops. There we go. We've got a little mini blossom here. This one never leaves my desk. And the plates are just to one side. I don't need the metal shin. So let's just pop these through. And we're going to be making our own little stencil. I'm using, if you're a bit scared, you could do them on separate pages. That means you have a little bit more wiggle room. There we go. I didn't hear any cracking. Did it cut? Yes, it did cut. So there we go. So here you could use these as mask if you wanted to, but I'm going to use the leftovers as stencils. So let's just pull this away. So as you can see here, I've got 2 stencils. So this is the one, like so. Okay. Now they're a little bit larger because when you cut them out, you can have like a little border around them. So we're going to have to work a little bit with that so we don't go out too much. So I'm going to mask that off so that I don't get any ink in here. So I'm just going to mask that off a bit. Okay, well, let's just pull this up very gently. So I'm going to start with the bottom part, and I just want to intensify that color a little bit. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more of that red. Okay, so I just moved it up as close as I could to the bottom of that cloud. And so now I'm just going to, you could use the really tiny brushes if you wanted to. I'm just going to use my little, and I just want to intensify the color on those clouds a bit. So let's just go in. Oh, let me just see. Do I have I have got one of the mini brushes in red here. So I might just go in and use that. It's just they do pick a lot of color up, a lot more than like the other branding brushes. So I'm always afraid to add too much color. See how pigmented that is. Okay, so now I'm just going to maybe blend this out a little bit with the marigold. Let's just go in a bit with marigold. Did I paint my mini blossom? Oh no, I didn't. Let me just see. That's just a piece of. This is one of the. This is one of our decals, which you can pop onto walls. I just popped it onto there just to make it like even prettier. There we go. So let's just go in a little bit with that marigold, just working our way up. Okay, now that I've got that color in there, Let's just pop it on there. I'm going to gently pull this off, like so. And I'm just going to move this down a little bit, and I want to add a little bit of that blue. So let's just add a bit more of that blue. Let's go with Winter Lake. I want to add a bit of blue there, just to give it a bit of drama. So let's just go in with a bit of blue here at the top. And then I can just go kind of blend everything out. And we're going to do the same with our other little cloud. There we go. So this is going to be a little bit easier. Let's add a bit more of that red at the bottom. Let's go in with the little mini. Let's make sure that the sky is on fire here. There we go. And then once again, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that blue. So this is the only thing you have to really be careful with when you're making your own masks, is that if you place it like you were cutting it out, you will get kind of a funny aura around the image, because the cutout is a bit larger than your image. So what I usually do is I just move it around a bit so it kind of fits that area. So when I am blending the color in, it kind of works. There we go. So just to finish this off, there we go. Just pop this to one side. I am just going to take my orange and kind of blend the rest of the color in there, just to kind of blend everything together. And I will go over. That way it kind of just finishes off the whole card. There we go. So we've got our scene ready. And now we're going to work on our little girl. So a little person. I don't know if it's a girl. It's a person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my permanent ink, because we're going to use our artist markers for this. So let's just pop her onto an acrylic block. And let's get her. And let's just stamp her onto our cardstock. And while we are coloring, we're also going to start coloring our sailboat. So I'm just going to stamp the sailboat as well on there for our next card. There we go. Oops. Let's just go ahead and stamp the sailboat. There we go. Sailboat stamped. Didn't stamp all too well. Oh, I'm just going to go with that. We're going to color it in anyway, so. Go. So if you're looking for ideas on how to color everything in, do go and check out on the Altenew website, because we do have a lot of examples from our other DT members. So I'm going to start with our little girl. So let's have a look here in the set. So we've got some nice browns, which would be perfect for her hair. And I think I'm just going to test these out on a piece of other cardstock just to see how they look. So that's like a nice brown for her hair, and we could add some shading with that one. I might grab some other colors. Let's just see. Okay, and this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to grab some yellows because I do want to create kind of a yellow. So let's go. I'm going to pick, I'm also going to take a warm sunshine and maybe, let me just check. Oh, I can use these. Yeah, I think I'm going to use some honey drizzle and maple yellow. I think that will work fine. So honey drizzle, maple yellow. Those are going to be my yellows. So let's start. I think I'm going to start working on her coat. Okay, I'm going to go in with the lightest shade of yellow, which is going to be maple yellow, and then I'll add some darker shades. So I'm just going to be coloring in her coat. So it's going to be difficult because some of it looks like hair, other of it looks like her coat. So this is going to kind of be a bit of a fiddle. So this is going to be really simple coloring. I'm not going to be doing a lot of blending. I will add a little bit of shadow. So she has got her shoulder peeking, or he or she, I don't know. They have got their shoulder peeking out. There we go. So we've already got her. And I'm going to try and add some of a shadow where you can see those kind of pleats in her raincoat. I will go ahead and kind of blend that in with the or I might just leave it like that. Just maybe just do a little bit of blending here, like in these sections. Let's just go a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty good. So here we've got a little girl. Her hair, let's go in. Let's start with the lightest shade, which is almond butter. I think it's almond butter. Milk chocolate. Yeah. Milk chocolate is darker. And we're going to add a bit more of a darker shade. So here I'm just kind of adding some little bit of a darker shade just to give that. There we go. And so let's put this back in. For the trousers, I thought of going with something like a nice, like tealy blue. So I've got Galactic Stream, and we could maybe start with Teal Cave and then add the details in Galactic Stream. There we go. And let's just add some little details here. I'm just going to add a little bit of a dark. There we go. And we still have her hat to do. I thought I could do that with like vanilla cream and add a little bit of hazelnuts. There we go. So let's go in with vanilla cream. And then we're going to add a little bit of shading in there. We'll blend that in a little bit. Okay. And then just to blend this in, we'll go over that with the vanilla cream. Like so. And now I need to look for a color which would work well for the skin tone. It's going to be a bit difficult. Okay, let's just... I just added a little dollop of Peach Perfect, not too much. There we go. So there we have a little person colored in. There we go. And now we're going to do our sailboat. So once again, I think I'll do like the bottom part of the ship. I'm going to go in with my browns. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to start with the hazelnut. Like so. I'm trying to add, so I might have to use the, there we go. Oh, here we got some more here. Okay. And we've got the masts here, which we're also going to have to color in brown. So you could use like the fine tip for this. There we go. And then I'm going to color in the sail. So I'm going to maybe just add a tad of a darker shade, just a little bit here at around the edges of my ship. So just add a couple of little, there we go. And let's go in and create the sails. So I'm going to go in with, which colors will I use? Aqualicious. Let's go in with Aqualicious, and we'll add a darker shade afterwards. So there we go. So this is for our second card. I'm already thinking ahead. Go. And here I have got Teal Cave. I might go like, pop that color in here, as well as a, oh, there we go. And now I'm going to just add maybe a couple of little details. Let's go with Teal Cave here at the bottom. And I'm going to maybe just add a bit of shading with my darker color here. Like that. And then I'll just blend that out with the same shade I colored the base in. So here I'm just going to kind of blend that out a bit. And once again, like sails, they move. So if the color is like a bit, if it's not even, it just adds that extra bit of character. There we go. And you can always blend the color out if you needed to. There we go. So that looks really pretty. I think I'm going to keep it with this. What did I... Why does it say Altenew baby shower stamp set? That's so weird. I don't know if I can change that. I think I forgot to change it. Okay. There we go. So we've got that done. I hope I'm still on. Do you still hear me? Yeah, I think I'm still on. Yeah, I think I forgot to change the title. Silly me. You're quite correct, Avril. So I've got my little girl stamped out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just cut that out with the coordinating die. You could just fussy cut around it as well if you wanted to. That's always a possibility. So this is the coordinating die for our little person. And then I'm also going to pull out the die for our sail ship for our next card, which is going to be a lot easier. Yay, you can hear me. So once again, I'm going to use my mini blossom. So I'm just going to snip this out so it will fit in. Okay. I'll just keep those pieces for another project. Once again, just to make sure that my dies don't move around, I am going to use a little bit of tape. See, I hope I'll be able to make my last card. It's a lot simpler than this one, so it should be okay. So there we go. Let's just run this through our little tool. There we go. Cutting plates. There we go. Let's go zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, see? I didn't place it nice enough, so I'm just going to probably just snip around the edges with my scissors. Otherwise, I'm going to have a really nasty white border. So I did color that in with a little bit of a peachy tone. There we go. So there I've got my little person. So I'm going to pop her onto some foam tape just to make her stand out a bit more. And I am going to, there's something which is annoying me on, there we go. I don't know if you can see it here, but this section where the hat isn't cut out. And that's going to kind of fall in the area with a little bit of that orangey color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pick a very soft orange. Let me just see. I think something like rouge would work pretty well. Let me just check. Would this be kind of the same? So that's not orangey enough. I'm trying to see. Orange cream. That's a bit too dark. Okay, let's do some masking. So I want to get a bit of orange on there. So I think I'm just going to use, kind of create a couple of masks and just try and add a bit of color in there. There we go. That's better. Kind of stands out a little less. So let's just pop her on there, and then we can add a little sentiment. There we go. And for my sentiments, I'm going to use one of the smaller ones, which says, life is not meant to be lived in one place. There we go. And this I'm going to stamp in black just to make it stand out a little bit more. Yeah, I should use a paintbrush. Just a bit lazy. And I think I'm just going to stamp it here on the horizon. There we go. If you wanted to, you could add a couple of birds at the top. But I think I'm going to leave it at that. So there we go. That's our first card using the stamp set, which took me probably the whole hour of this live. We do still have our little sailboat here. So let's just quickly, I'll just show you how you can quickly make a card. Let's just go ahead and make a quick card for our little sailboat. So first things first, let's just cut it out. There we go. Okay, there we have it. Look at that pretty little boat. Okay, and let's just get another piece of card, like so. This is going to fill up a large part already of our... So we'll probably put it in the center. So I'm going to once again create my little sea scene at the bottom. But this time I'm going to keep it really, really simple. I'm just going to do some stamping. Okay. So I think I'm going to go with the icy water this time, just to lighten things up a little bit, because our first card was already pretty dramatic in color. So this one could be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to ink up my water, my waves, with the icy water, like so. And this time I'm really just going to keep it to the bottom, like so. And just stamp it. I'm just going to add a little bit more just to finish it off here along the sides. There we go. Let's just give that a quick clean. And I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of polar bear and just add a little bit of blending on top. There we go. Let's just have a little mask there. So I just want to kind of add a little bit of a blue so it's not white, but that it's not too dark either. So if you wanted to have like the white that you would get on waves when they're like moving around and tumbling, you could just use white embossing powder. So you would ink this up and then heat set it with white embossing powder, and then you can like blend in the color, and then you can get that kind of white effect of the waves. There we go. So once again, this is all the northern shore. And here I've got my little sailboat, which we're going to pop in there. Like so. Once again, Let's just use a little bit of foam tape just to pop it up a bit. Like so. And then we can use one of the larger ones. We could go with Bon Voyage or Seize the Day. Which one do you choose? You can pick for me. Bon Voyage or Seize the Day. Your choice. So I'm just going to wait for someone to pop in. First person wins. Seize the day. You are the winner, Susan. Oh, Sue, sorry. Sue, I haven't forgotten you. It's just I've been really busy. I haven't had time to go to the post office, and I live in a really small village. The post office isn't open a lot, and with all like the extra school meetings, I just haven't had time to do it. But I haven't forgotten you. You will get your card. Sue, I haven't forgotten you. It's going to be Seize the Day. So I'm just going to, I'm going to stick my card down. And I'm just going, I'm keeping it very, very, very simple here. There we go. Seize the day. I'm stamping it straight on top. So a very simple design. There we go. And if you wanted to, once again, you could go ahead and add a couple of those, maybe those birds at the top. But I think it's really nice like this. Very simple. I don't want to add anything else. So we've got like a little bit more intricate card and then a simpler card. So those are the two cards from today, using quite a lot of supplies. But just showing you how you can just use one stem set and create completely different looks, and using lots of blending. And there we go. So I really, really pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because these aren't the things I'm not really a card maker. I'm a scrapbooker. But this is a set I wouldn't use necessarily on a scrapbook page. I might use it maybe in an art journal, or maybe when I'm doing like my little planners or something like that. But I thought it would be nice just to push myself and create some cards with this beautiful, beautiful set. And I had this kind of sunset idea, and I really like how this turned out. So I think it was really fun to create these two cards with you today. So there you go. So sorry that I mixed up the title, but it was the one from last time. There we go. So that's me back here. Whoops, let's just pop all these lights off, because otherwise I look really, really highlighted. So these are the two cards we created today. There we go. You can see them here. Oops, on the screen. And I do like that they pop out a little bit with the foam tape. There we go. We've got two cute little cards. So if you want me to, oh, that's really bright. Let's pop this one up as well. Oops, a daisy. Here we go. So if you want me to use a specific set, or want me to show you a specific technique, you can always go ahead and send me a little message. I'd love to use another stem set if you're interested in seeing another stem set or more ideas, or if you want to see specific techniques or want to have other ideas. So feel free to message me, or even send Altenew a little email. They will pass it on to me. So there we go. A huge shout out to you all for being with me today, for sharing this live, and a huge shout out to Angel, who is behind the badge and who popped in all the links and answered all the questions I might have missed. So thank you so much for joining us today. Stay safe, have a lovely day or a lovely evening wherever you are, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.